While I was here, I really got to work very closely with Miss Marie and found out that I really enjoyed writing music for the theater, and decided to join the program, the Graduate Musical Theater Writing Program at Tisch in New York. They're associated with NYU. And while I was there, I met Mark, who I collaborated with on Tinyard Hill, and Mark is from Sanford, so we instantly had that, we're both Southern bond. And we decided that we definitely wanted to do a piece that spoke of Southern people and Southern issues in a way that didn't, make fun of them. Because there's a lot of musical theater out there, much like the Huckleberry Finn kind of shows where they're like, yup, 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 we're Southern, and they throw on this crazy accent. And you're like, what's going on here? Are we really like that? You know? And so we wanted to show something that was a little bit more honest and that was a little bit more realistic in that way. And that was really a challenge because, as you know, musical theater is also very presentational, and you don't really think of musical theater and realism, I guess, in the same sort of genre or whatever. But we took on that challenge, and eventually we created Tinyard Hill. And the beginning of the Tinyard Hill process was a workshop that we did at the end of our program at the Graduate Musical Theater Writing program at Tisch. And it went really well. It was very well received, and it was received extremely well by Goodspeed Musicals in Connecticut. And Goodspeed Musicals is, if you know anything about them, they are the original home of Annie and Man of La Mancha. And they are just a very, very well-known regional theater, one of the largest regional theaters in the country.
Have you guys heard of Goodspeed? Two people. And now, do me a favor, I'm just interrupting. What are you, music majors? Raise your hands. Music. And then who's theater majors? Okay, theater majors. Shame on you. Goodspeed Opera House. Looky uppy you. Go on, please.
But the education director there, Will Reese, saw the piece with Donalyn Hilton, who's the line producer there. And they brought it back to Michael Price, who was the original producer / director of Annie. And they're still making a killing on that musical. And they brought us to the attention of Michael, and we were part of the very first New Works festival that Goodspeed does now yearly. And we really developed a great relationship with them, and were part of their initial collaboration that they have started with the Hart School. And the Hart School is a school of performing arts. It's a subdivision of Hartford University. I would love to see Troy have that kind of relationship with a theater in Alabama, potentially maybe Red Mountain, maybe ASF, some sort of collaboration like that, especially in new musical theater, would be excellent, because it's a very early process, and it's good for us as artists to be able to see our work done by professional actors, of course. It's great, we want that, but when you're at an early part of the process, it's better to have people who are more flexible and who are eager and want to be a part of the growth of the piece. So that was a really, really important step for us. We took 2 weeks in Connecticut, and we developed the show a little bit more. And I tell you this, from the end of our entire year of our senior thesis project, when we were writing Tinyard Hill at NYU, to the beginning of the 2-week rehearsal, the 2-week process that we had at Goodspeed. The show, we kept 2 songs, and we kept maybe like a little bit of music here and there. So basically we rewrote in 3 months the entire show, so that we could, because we saw it, we were like, this works, this doesn't work. And by the time we got to Goodspeed, we had an entirely new show that was working much better, and it's very close to the version that you'll see now. But there are still, I think, maybe 6 or 7 songs that continue to need to be upheaved and new songs written. So we did the process 2 weeks with Goodspeed, and it was very, very helpful for us. We followed that up with an application into the NAMT selection committee so that we could be considered for the next season of new musicals. And we were also awarded a grant from the Lowe Foundation to do another reading. So we did the NAMT reading, and then we followed that with 2 more workshops of the piece where a lot of things had changed. And then because of the NAMT reading, we got involved with Keith and with Kevin Moore at the Human Race Theater in Dayton, Ohio. And after that, we went out to Dayton. We did another 2-week process out there where we added a new song, an entirely new song, and changed a lot of the music. Did a lot of book work to fix some questions that we had had, historic questions, because it's a historical kind of piece. It's set in a time period in 1964. And we had to make sure that all of our factual information was just right, because we had an audience in Dayton that was very sensitive to that kind of stuff, because they had actually lived through the Vietnam War. Many of them had been drafted and had actually been, even some of them, I think 1 or 2 of them had actually been in World War II, and there's mention of World War II in the piece as well. So there were some facts that we had to get straight, and it was great to have that audience because they really did help us to tweak all those little tidbits of info. And then we did a couple more changes, wrote a new song, and came down to Red Mountain where we've been working with Keith, and just have really enjoyed the process. It's been fantastic to see the piece finally for the first time. I mean, it's not fully realized, but it's as fully realized, as it needs to be at this stage of the game. And it's just great to see it with legs, and to see it off book. That's a big thing, because when you get off book, you can actually act. If your face is stuck in the book, you're really tied to whatever's on the page. But we've been able to see that the delivery is working. The humor is working. The songs are generally working. There's still some things that we're going to tweak. There's some. You'll notice tonight that some of the keys we call them vanity keys, because just because Mark and I can sing them doesn't mean that that this is what we're going to put into for regional. I have a very high voice, we haven't noticed, but yeah, I get picked on. I've gone through the drive-through before, and they're like, "Ma'am, can I take your order?" I was like,
"Excuse me, I would like."
Dang.
Or like a cheeseburger with fries.
But no, it's we're going to take some of those keys down and change a few things more musically, and then we'll have the piece that I think we're going to be backing away on it because we're working on new stuff now. So, but we're still looking to try and get the very first full orchestration and everything to see it fully realized. So.